Hi everyone, Kevin Icott here. Today I wanted to talk to you about how I met and shook the hand of Guru Dev. Swami Bramahananda Saraswati of Joytir. And so today I'd like to tell you the story about this. I had been meditating, doing transcendental meditation for many, many years. I was a good friend of Charlie Lutz, and I always followed the path of God. And I developed a whole spiritual practice around a practice of spirituality that I sort of journeyed on for the last, 50 years. Studying all kind of books, studying all different kinds of spiritual paths, religions, meeting different gurus, meeting different saints, hanging out with them, helping them do some of their missions here on this planet to help aid humanity. Anyway, during the process of when I was doing transcendental meditation, and something came to me. I became very sick, and I was doing probably meditations of at least 10 hours a day during a lot of the illness. And that permission was actually granted to me by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, believe it or not. And so, but not lots of great follow-up or support during that. But anyhow, something that happened to me during that time was I had this overwhelming urge to learn the Puja for Guru Dev, which is the initial basic puja that they perform when you get initiated with a mantra. Now, I didn't want to learn the mantras and all that. I just wanted to learn the puja just so I could do daily puja to Guru Dev. Because to me, that was how I was going to open my heart. And Guru Dev had spoke to me about this. And so, anyway, the day came, and I met a teacher, a former teacher. He's no longer a teacher of transcendental meditation. And he agreed to initiate me into learning the puja. And so he did it just like when you get a mantra or whatever, you have to take flowers and clean handkerchief and fruits and things like that. Anyhow, I went to the grocery store to gather these things, and the date was set, the time was set. So I was on my way there. I was gathering the flowers, the fruits, everything, getting them all prepared, and anyway, went to the grocery store. And I'm in the grocery store, and I'm picking out the flowers and this and that, and I felt this strange awareness of this man. And he was walking around the grocery store, and he had an empty cart. And I kept seeing him. Each aisle I'd go into, he'd be in that aisle, or somewhere down that aisle. And as we moved through the store, I kept seeing this man. And so I decided to approach the man and speak to him. And when I went up to him, I said, "Can I help you? Is there something, you're looking for in here?" And he says, "I can't find the kind of ketchup I want. I'm looking for ketchup." And he had this bottle of ketchup in the cart, and it was just regular plain old ketchup. And I said, "If you really want a good ketchup," I said, "an organic ketchup is probably the best thing." And we walked over together to the aisle where the organic ketchup was kept in a different section of the store. And I showed it to him, and he looked at it, and we just continued to talk as we walked over there, and we continued to talk while we were there. And when I looked at this man, his face was on fire. His eyes were ablaze. When you looked into his eyes, it was like you were looking into a storm of lightning. his tongue was darting in and out in a rapid fashion. His lips, they quivered all the time. He had a very tall, strong stature, stood about 6'3", 6'4", had a beard, kind of looked like Santa Claus. And I thought he was going to tell me his name was Nick, but he actually told me his name was Carl. And he said to me at the end, he says, you know, they don't have ketchup in here. They don't really have anything I'm really looking for at all. He said, but I met you. And he says, I'm glad I did. And he says, it was a real pleasure. And he shook my hand, and he went on his way. And I never saw him again like that in a physical form. I knew who it was. He was sent by Guru Dev. It was Guru Dev incarnate, come right down there in a physical body. And then I went off, and I learned Puja later that day. And I went into such a deep state at the time of the initiation, it took hours for the teacher and his assistant to try to bring me back out of the meditative state that I went into when that puja initiation was done. And so anyway, I just wanted to share this little brief story about how I met Guru Dev and how profound that was to experience that. And it was from following the path of the saint, of the divine path. Charlie Lutz followed that path. Charlie Lutz was a saint himself. His wife was a saint. The thing is to follow the path of the saint is a holy path, a sacred path. It's a path of enlightenment. It's a path of helping humanity. It's a path of giving. It's a path for the giver. If you can't learn to be a giver, you won't ever experience the path. The path is a path of giving. It's a path of the heart. If you can't open the heart, you won't move anywhere, because it has to come from the love of God, the love of yourself. It has to come from there. And so anyway, I hope you appreciate my story about Swami Bramahananda Saraswati, Guru Dev. I wish you well today. I wish you success in your practice in your life. As you may well know, I started with transcendental meditation, but I've been on this path since I've been a small boy. A small boy. I used to talk to God from the time I was very, very little. Always did. And still do. And so the thing is to move and progress the soul through all the levels of evolution, you got to start somewhere. And one of the best ways to start is through a meditative practice. And I highly encourage you to learn a meditative practice, no matter which one. TM, Transcendental Meditation, Shiva Bala Yogi, anyone. Yogananda, Kriya Yoga. There's many good ones out there to start with. Whatever speaks to you, find a little path. Find something that speaks to you. It can be something you start on your own with just a simple meditation each and every day. Anyway, you have a wonderful life. And I hope this story inspired and helped move you further in your path, because that's what it's all about, helping one another up the ladder to the light, to the Supreme. And may we all find the love of the Lord together. Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. May you have a wonderful, wonderful, enriched life.